Hi guys, welcome to today's video. I hope you all have been good and blessed. I really hope so. Guys, for today's video, we are going to have a look at the NBA offseason so far. And of course, it started with the draft, then some trades happened, now free agency signings. So a lot of exciting stuff going on right now. I can't wait for the new season to start, even the preseason, summer league, and all of that. Already been watching some old games from last year just because I miss watching the NBA so much. But for today's video, we are going to look at my 5 winners from this offseason so far, so including the draft, some trades, early season trades, and also free agency signings. Guys, if you do enjoy this kind of video, I would really appreciate it if you could leave a like, maybe subscribe to my channel, leave a comment. It would help me out a lot. It only takes little time of yours, but for me it means the world. So let's just jump right into my 5 winners of this offseason so far. Alright guys, my first team which is a winner is the Washington Wizards. They really wanted Alexander Sarr. They didn't get the number 1 pick. Alexander Sarr really wanted to go to Washington, so for me it's really a win-win situation. They didn't have to give up anything to get him. The Atlanta Hawks, of course, took Zachary Risacher, who I am really not sure of. I saw his press conference interviews and he looked so shy, and Sarr on the other side looked very confident, very happy to be a Wizard. I think for the Washington Wizards it's an exciting time to be a fan. I think it's the franchise finally goes into the right direction. They also got Keyshawn George, who is actually from Switzerland. I spent a lot of years living there, so I love to see another Swiss player playing in the NBA after Thabo Sefolosha and Clint Capella. They also got Bob Carrington, a good point guard who should get some minutes right away. I hope they are not doing the Johnny Davis thing again. But those 3 rookies, I love them a lot. I think all of them can really make it in the NBA. Good potential. Alexander Sarr, of course, the next franchise player. They just got him. I would have taken him every time over Zachary Risacher. And that's not me hating on Zachary, but just from a confidence standpoint and also his defense potential. He can stretch the floor a little bit, and he's going to be the main piece moving forward. They also had some good free agency signings so far. They brought in big Valanciunas from the New Orleans Pelicans. He was not able to stay there. And yeah, for me, a very good leader. He probably starts at the center and then Sarr at the power forward, I would imagine. 3 years, 30 million. I mean, you need some veteran leadership. I didn't really like the Holmes signing, but it's alright. And of course, they also brought in Malcolm Brogdon via trade. I think it was with this Danny Avdija trade. That one I didn't like so much. Like, Danny Avdija is one of the best contracts in the NBA so far. So yeah, I would have preferred them to hold on to him. But you know, Brogdon is a good veteran leader. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I like where the franchise is going, and I think one of the best rebuilds the franchise has done so far. Can't wait for the future. I'm going to be watching a lot of Wizards game, probably for the first time of my life. Alright guys, so next team up is of course the Dallas Mavericks. They have been one of the most talked teams so far. They did make it all the way last year to the finals, then came short to the Celtics, of course, we watched that. And now they did the impossible thing, I guess. They brought in Klay Thompson, arguably the second best or third best shooter in NBA's history after Steph Curry and probably Ray Allen, I would imagine. But bringing him in on a good team-friendly contract, I think 3 years, 50 million. Nowadays, it's really not that bad of a contract in my opinion. He's a leader. He can of course shoot the crap out of the ball. When he gets hot, he's going crazy. I don't know if he's going to come off the bench or if they start him. But yeah, very good signing there. And yeah, it's kind of sad to see the Golden State Warriors break it up. I would have loved him to see to retire as a Warrior, but unfortunately it didn't happen. The Warriors, they look kind of a loser at the moment from this offseason, losing CP3 and Klay for nothing. And yeah, Draymond on big money. I don't know, Wiggins on big money. There's some Laurie Markkinen talks, so we will see about that. But the Mavs getting Klay Thompson is definitely really nice. They also brought in Quentin Grimes from my Pistons, which I absolutely love. He is for me the perfect shooting guard starter in this team, or small forward starter, I guess, next to Kyrie and Luka. Plays very tough defense. Good shooter. When he started for the New York Knicks, most of his career looked very solid, very confident. So underrated signing. I'm kind of sad to let him go from my Pistons, but I think he never really wanted to be with us. He didn't play, he was injured or whatever. They also brought in Naji Marshall, another guy I really like. I also would have loved him as a Piston, to be honest. 3 years, 7 mil a year, or 9 million a year for a 3-year contract. So in total 27 million for Naji Marshall. Good for him, man. He needed to get out of New Orleans. There were just too many forwards, and him going to the Mavs makes a lot of sense because they did lose Derrick Jones Jr., who is kind of disappointing that he left, because Nico Harrison, the GM, said that he's the 1A and 1B priority this offseason, and then they had to let him go to the Los Angeles Clippers, which sucks a little bit. But all those 3 guys, they brought in Klay, Grimes and Marshall. They're going to get some minutes. Ashinka is the rookie. Probably goes down to the G League. We will see what he brings to the future. But for me, the Mavs are definitely one of the winners of this offseason, which means a lot coming from a finals run already. So going to be exciting next year. Next team up, in my opinion, is the Portland Trail Blazers. They didn't do a lot, but they brought in 2 very good pieces in Danny Avdija via trade and Donovan Clingan via draft. Clingan, of course, was the number 7th pick in this year's draft. Some people had him in the top 5, or some even in the top 3, so him getting at number 7 is definitely a steal. His body looks NBA ready. He can stretch the floor a little bit. Of course, won with UConn championship. So yeah, very good, very, very good rookie. I would have taken him anytime. I just hope it's not going to be like a Zach Collins situation with the Trailblazers, but I'm confident. Chauncey Billups is really under a lot of pressure right now. Scoot Henderson development has not been so good, but bringing in Donovan Clingan for me is an absolutely steal at number 7. And then of course they also made at draft night a trade with the Washington Wizards, bringing in Danny Avdija, who is one of the best NBA contracts in my opinion. He's still a young player, like 23, 24 years old, and a multi-year contract, very good wages. And yeah, the team is set. They also let Brogdon go, and we will see. They're probably not done making business. They probably have the Time Lord Robert Williams for sale as well, and other pieces. But yeah, until now I really like what they did. Not a lot of business, but the 2 players they signed, I love it, and I can't wait for the Blazers. I really hope Chauncey Billups is getting his stuff together, because me as a Pistons fan, of course, I love Chauncey, and I just wish him all the success in the league as a coach. And the future is good, man. They're still not going to win a lot of games next year, but they're on the right track, and just give it some time and it's going to be alright. So next team up, guys, is a team which did more business, and it is of course the Oklahoma City Thunder. They had an early trade with the Chicago Bulls, bringing in Alex Caruso, let him go Josh Giddey. Giddey didn't just really work out. I am still a believer in Josh Giddey as a basketball player, but I think it was just not the right situation in Chicago. We saw it in the playoffs. He struggled a lot, and they just had too many mouths to feed when it comes to scoring the basketball. And yeah, the year earlier when it was Giddey, Shea without Chet Holmgren, he had a lot of more touches and it looked very better than this year. So letting him go, bringing in Caruso, a guy they definitely need. Like, his defense, perimeter defense is good. He's one of the best defenders actually in the NBA, in my opinion, all defensive candidate. And so that's a W trade. They also can give him a huge contract. I think 80 million they could sign him up for, but they first want to see how he fits the team. And yeah, it should also give more balls, touches to Chet and Shea. Then they also just brought in Isaiah Hartenstein from the New York Knicks on a huge contract, like 3 years almost 90 million. Yeah, one of the biggest contracts a German player ever got, besides Dirk Nowitzki, of course. But he definitely deserves it. You know, Mitch Robinson was having a hard season, like he was hurt a lot of times, and Hartenstein coming in as one of the better backup bigs from the Clippers a couple of years ago, and then stepping up, becoming their starting center, and really produced well. Is a very underrated passer in my opinion. Mini Jokic, I would call him, but yeah, so him getting a contract is definitely a W, and him with the OKC Thunder also, like I thought maybe they would go after a Nick Claxton, who also would have fit that perfectly, but Isaiah Hartenstein is very good. And then they also got some contract extensions. Isaiah Joe and Aaron Wiggins all signed a multi-year contract, so they really try to keep the team together. They also brought in Nikola Topic, who is not going to be playing next year, but the potential is still there. And I also watched his press conference, looked very confident, and franchise has experience with Chet Holmgren sitting out the first year. So they're probably just going to do the same with Topic. And if he comes back so strong like Chet, then okay, this is going to be so scary. And also Dylan Jones and AJ Mitchell, good rookies. They probably won't get many minutes, but especially for Dylan Jones, I think they gave up like 5 second-round picks, so they see something in him, but probably will stay a lot of time in the G League. But yeah, for me, definitely a winning team of the offseason so far. Alright guys, and for the final team I have the New York Knicks, of course. They did also make a huge trade, bringing in a Mikal Bridges. Like everybody saw it coming, the Villanova connection is there, and yeah, it's just kind of crazy that it actually happens. They also were able to sign OG Anunoby to a 5-year contract, which I'm very happy, because when they brought in Mikal, and then it was not clear if they're able to re-sign Hartenstein, and then I was worried that they're going to lose OG, that they can't pay him, but bringing in Mikal and keeping OG on the board as well, definitely crazy. They are stacking up their wing positions, so they definitely want to go after the Boston Celtics, and we will see how far that takes, but for me a no-brainer. I'm very happy with their business, and they also brought in some interesting rookies. Pakomba Dadiet, he played in Germany, so he's a talent. Tyler Kolek, I don't know much about him. Kevin McCullough, somebody I do like, and Hook Porty is actually also German, but I don't know much about him. So interesting rookies. A good veteran with Mikal Bridges, good re-signing business with Anunoby. The only problem, of course, is losing Isaiah Hartenstein, which is going to hurt them, because he was so important, and Mitchell Robinson is just always having injury problems. So if he can stay healthy, the Knicks are definitely a contender. For me, they are the second best team in the East after the Boston Celtics. So very exciting to see them, and definitely a winner team in this offseason so far. Alright guys, that's all I have for you in today's video. I will also talk about the 5 losers of this offseason so far in another video, guys. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate if you could leave a like, maybe subscribe to my channel, leave a comment. It would help me out a lot. It means the world to me. I'm also always very happy when I see something like that. And yeah, I love you guys, and I will see you at the next one. Peace.